Bet you didn't see this. So, while everybody's been distracted, our boy Thomas Massie, quite possibly the only patriot left in Congress, he kind of sort of revealed an Epstein list without most people knowing it. Check this out.
You replied, according to the transcript, there is no credible information that he trafficked them to anyone else. According to victims who cooperated with the FBI in that investigation, these documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men, including Mr. Jess Staley, CEO of Barclays Bank, who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada.
So listen, I'm not here to blame anybody or, name anybody specific, but based on those stipulations, one might be able to narrow down that list pretty well. But anyway, let's see what our speaker has to say about this.
Check.
Mr. Speaker, good morning. Thank you. You said last week that you would swear in Adelita Grajolva whenever she wants. She's written a letter to your office. You've not sworn her in. I understand about pro forma sessions.
Yes.
Doesn't your resistance to not swear her in add fuel to the fire that this is about the Epstein?
No. Let's talk about Grajolva and Epstein. Okay. Once more for everybody. Everybody in Congress, I think, is for maximum transparency of the Epstein files. That is underway right now.
Maximum transparency. Yeah, you guys have definitely been all about maximum transparency with the Epstein files, for sure.
Let me point out before I go forward further, all of the files were in the possession of the Biden-Harris Department of Justice for 4 years.
Okay, and what does that mean? It means that all of you are in on it. Cool. This whole placing blame on the other party thing, it doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work with us anymore. But please, continue.
Every single thing that we're talking about right now was in their sole possession. They could have released it. They could have done anything. Ro Khanna, all the Democrats who are jumping up and down making noise about this, didn't say a peep about it for 4 years. I don't know why, but this is another partisan manufactured thing. Is it a serious problem? Yes. I've sat with the victims.
Is it a serious problem? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that not knowing who the most prolific pedophile and human trafficker in modern history, not knowing who he trafficked kids and underage girls and people to, and the fact that we know for a fact that they are high-level politicians and elites and athletes and celebrities and bankers and politicians, the fact that we know all of that but we don't know who it is, yeah, I'd say it's a pretty serious issue. But continue, please.
Some of the ladies who bravely have come forward and talked about the horrors that they sustain because of traffickers on.
Wait. Did you guys catch that? Let me rewind that.
Because of traffickers.
So he's admitting here that there was more than one. In other words, he's talking about more traffickers than just him and Ghislaine. Interesting. Okay, keep going.
Involved in that should have the full weight of justice descend upon their head. And we're all for that. We want every single person who had anything to do with that to be exposed. But there's as many as 1,000 victims estimated. That's what the victims say. There may be 1,000 women who were made to suffer these unspeakable harms because of this. Many of them were underage at the time. They have not all chosen to come forward like some of these other brave women have for obvious reasons. And we have to make sure that when the files are released, their names are redacted so they don't suffer further harm. We have a duty and a responsibility. You can't just wave a wand and just, open the floodgates.
Sure you can. But you guys don't want to. But you absolutely can. And we're to the point now where I think the American public deserves the magic wand flick and just floodgates. Tell us who's in the files. Tell us who these people are. Period. End of story.
And they're all joined together in a bipartisan fashion, digging through and releasing documents. 34,000 documents so far and more on the way. In fact, as I noted a couple of days ago.
I think it's hilarious. 34,000 documents, yet before it was, they're on my desk. We're going through them. There's a truckload. Then there's no files. There's no list. There's no documents. It's just a Democrat hoax. Yada, yada, yada. And now now there's 34,000 plus files that we're going through to make sure that the victims' names aren't there and they're redacted. Okay.
The attorneys for the House Oversight Committee during the shutdown are still doing work. They were in New York City combing through the Epstein estate files. By the way, that was never even mentioned or anticipated in the discharge petition, for those of you who are following all the details of this. So more is coming out. We're for all of it coming out as soon as possible. The only thing we want to make sure of is that...
I'm sure you are, just like those binders, right? This is going to be phase 2. We already had phase 1 with the binders. Now comes phase 2. But you know what? Let's just get down to the bottom of this. Let's just talk about the main reason why these files are not coming out. Let's talk about the main reason why we're never going to find out who these people were. Because it was a massive blackmail operation. And it was a blackmail operation perpetrated on the world's elites and powerful individuals, specifically by intelligence agencies, one of which was absolutely that country that we can't talk about on any social media platform because, of course, it's just defending them and it's just protecting them and there's too much anti-Semitism going on. Yeah. Anyway, here's an Israeli intelligence officer, Ari Ben Menashe, literally talking about how this is a reality. Watch this.
I believe that the American government is sort of trapped by the Israelis. Jeffrey Epstein is one of their tools to trap them.
And what do you think of Dershowitz's denial?
Hold on a second. I want to give you an example. Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton, Ehud Barak, met Arafat in the 90s, and there was no deal. The reason was Epstein. They were being blackmailed by Epstein. Ehud Barak was also a friend of Epstein, the Prime Minister of Israel at the time. But he was being blackmailed by the Israeli right wing as well. And they stopped an agreement with Arafat. They were about to reach an agreement there for a two-state solution. But that was stopped because...
Isn't it so interesting? Isn't it so interesting that this blackmail operation and the releasing of these files, these Epstein files, just always seem to coincidentally revolve around the times when there's being a two-state solution or a ceasefire or a peace deal? Isn't it just a weird coincidence? I thought so too. Anyway, watch.
They trapped a number of U.S. presidents by using Jeffrey Epstein. And it wasn't only about sex, it was also the money issue. Where was the money coming from?
So this just further confirms that we are in fact occupied, that we are in fact, that our government and our leaders are in fact being blackmailed, and that this is being held over their heads. And that is why, for some reason, we continue to support their absolutely horrific acts. So yeah, while everything's going on that's going on, and while you're being distracted with everything else, just a friendly reminder that we still don't have the Epstein files. We still have no clue who Epstein and Ghislaine and other people trafficked underage women, kids, and other humans to for sex and for whatever else.
And I believe the Israelis have the American government captive.
And man, it just seems like a crazy coincidence that this always seems to pop up, right? It always seems to pop up and revolve around these two-state solutions and ceasefires and peace deals and all the things that threaten the Greater Israel Project. But hey, I'm just a conspiracy theorist. What do I know?